Jason Bourne is the 5th film in the Bourne franchise, and it features the return of director Paul Greengrass and its star Matt Damon, and it also stars Alicia Vikander, Julia Stiles and Tommy Lee Jones. If you've been following my channel, you'll know that I recently watched the first 4 Bourne movies for the first time, and I'm not really a massive fan of the franchise. I like the films very much, minus Bourne Legacy, and I went into this film with mixed expectations, mainly given the Rotten Tomatoes score. The last time I checked, it was on like a 66%. But I gotta tell you guys, I actually really enjoyed Jason Bourne. One thing I was slightly concerned about going in was the story, because Bourne Ultimatum ended in a way that could have been the final film in the franchise since Bourne finds out who he is and how he became the assassin. I was concerned that the story in Jason Bourne would feel forced and come off as an unnecessary storyline that could potentially contradict the first 3 films, but thankfully that is not the case. I thought the story of Jason Bourne, it felt very natural and believable. Jason Bourne is approached with some new information about his past, so he goes on a quest to find some more truth that he didn't know before. So I bought the story of the film. It felt realistic in that sense. And I personally thought the story was quite interesting. There's some good new backstory that the film introduces, which I'm not going to spoil of course, and I was always interested to see where the film went. And because of that, I was consistently engaged with the film. I was intrigued by Bourne's quest, and never once was I bored throughout the entire runtime. Now I will say this, and I feel like a lot of people will pick up on this, if you're not a fan of the previous Bourne films, if they didn't really do anything for you, this one is not really going to win you over, because there are a lot of elements that are similar to the first 3 films. You have your moments of suspense, the action is shaky like Paul Greengrass's other Bourne films, and the film overall does more or less follow your standard Bourne formula. Jason Bourne is living low and he's trying to live a normal life, and then he starts getting flashbacks to a certain event that's directly tied to his main quest for answers, and he's thrust back into his little fight against the CIA. Meanwhile, at the CIA, you have the people running the whole operation who have clashing ideologies regarding how to deal with Jason Bourne. So yeah, it follows a similar formula to the first 3 Bourne films, but in my opinion that doesn't make it a bad film though. The way I see it, it's like Star Wars The Force Awakens, where it was a new film in the franchise that's coming off of some generally disliked films beforehand, and in order to get people back on board with the franchise, they harken back to what people liked about the original films, and Star Wars The Force Awakens did that very well, and in my opinion, so does Jason Bourne. Like I said earlier, the action is shaky like it was in Paul Greengrass's other Bourne films, but I didn't find it unbearably shaky. It's not as bad as say like Taken 3, where you have 7 different shots of Liam Neeson climbing over a fence. There are a lot of cuts and a lot of edits, but I could always tell what was going on, and to me it felt like that it was adding some more grit and more realism into the fights, and it felt like you were just plopped right in the middle of it all. It felt a little bit more intense that way. The acting in the film was great too. Matt Damon, what more can you say about him? He is the character, he is Jason Bourne, and there was that report that came out a few days ago that he doesn't have a lot of dialogue in the film, and that is very true, but I felt that worked for his character given how damaged he is. Alicia Vikander was really good in the film too. She was assertive, she always wanted to do the right thing as much as possible, and she's very likeable too. I mean, she's Alicia Vikander after all. And Tommy Lee Jones plays your standard CIA guy who's running the whole operation, who wants Jason Bourne gone no matter what. You know, you're pretty standard Bourne villain, but he did a good job in the film. Overall guys, I really enjoyed Jason Bourne, to a surprising degree actually. I was surprised at how much I enjoyed it. It doesn't break any new ground in the franchise that much, but it is so much better than that snooze fest Bourne Legacy. And it's a very intriguing movie, it's well acted, it's well filmed and well directed, and I was always interested in the plot of the film and I was engaged with it throughout the entire runtime. And also, I just want to mention the last fight, the last car chase in this film was actually really awesome. Definitely the best car chase of the entire series in my opinion. I'm probably going to be in the minority of people on this in terms of how much I liked it, but I really enjoyed it, so I'm going to give Jason Bourne a 4 out of 5. It's definitely one of the better films I've seen this summer, and it's really refreshing to see a really good film for once. And stay tuned, because on Friday, Finding Dory finally comes out in the UK. I'm going to go see it, I cannot wait, I'm going to give a review for you guys. But in the meantime, tell me in the comments below what you thought of Jason Bourne, how does it compare to the other films of the franchise. Thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you all in the next video.